All right, what's going on, guys? This is How I Talk, and we are back with another episode. I'm so excited to bring you guys some more content and share with you guys some important topics today. And today, what are we going to be talking about, Tim?
Hey, we're talking about a high value man. I'm glad I'm here with you guys again. Hey, I'm coming to you from outer space all the way to your place. Here I come, baby. Here I come.
And if I didn't introduce myself, already, my name is Chris Jones, and we'll go ahead and move right into this. So, Tim, go ahead and start us off with the high value man. What do you think about it?
Well, we got. I think we should define the definition for our audience. We're basing it off. I think who do we say? Kevin Samuels. His
Kevin
definition
Samuels.
of high value man. And you want to hear this, and we're going to tell you whether or not we agree or disagree with some of his points.
All right, perfect. So, what is a high value man? That is the question here today. So, when he's referencing Kevin Samuels, if you guys have ever got a chance to check him out, he's a person on YouTube that does discuss what a high value man is. There's actually quite a bit of people that do discuss this, but today we're going to focus on his 6 points and then also share with you guys what we think is a high value man. And hopefully, you can learn something today and apply it in your everyday lives. If you don't know already, it's important that you share this with other people. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. Kevin Samuels has 6 solid points of what he thinks is a high value man. Remember, don't shoot the messenger. This is just what I heard. All right. First point he says is you must make at least 10K a month. Now, where is he rooting this 10K per month in America? Well, he's basing it in Atlanta. So you have to adjust your income accordingly with the Atlanta dollars. So if you're in New York or California, obviously the cost of living is substantially higher. You might need to adjust your dollar value. But he says you at least must make 10K per month. In total for a year, that's about 120,000. Not only that, he also says you must make at least 120,000 or more over the 3 to 5 years. Why? Because everybody, has one good year, right? We don't want a one-hit wonder. He wants sustainability, right? In his eyes, okay? The third point, you must be accepted by other high-value men. Obviously, if a high-value man sees another high-value man, they should be able to know what they bring to the table. There should be some type of acceptance or understanding between the two. The fourth thing is you must have a network of high-value men. He believes you can't be the only high value man out there, but you must have a network of other high value men that you have at your disposal. Fifth one is visibility. When he says that, he's coming from a point of position and income at a LinkedIn level, right? At a social media level. Do you have that shown across your platforms? And then the last one is useful to a group of high value men and others. He believes, hey, if you know other high value man, you can't be just a taker. You got to be a provider as well. What can you bring to the table? So, hey, those are the 6 points. Remember, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just saying what he stated. Everything's not verbatim, but this creates an open discussion. Do you agree or disagree with a high value? Go ahead, Tim.
What point one? What was the first point?
First point is making 10K a month in Atlanta dollars.
Do you have to be the first point is, do you have to be a high value man to make 10K a month? First of all, I don't agree with all of Kevin Samuel's ideas of a high value man. Number one, I would put something in front of that. One, the spirituality of a man. Because if a man has spirituality, a belief in God, something that pushes him besides the internal only, but something externally, a belief in something greater, high power, we may say, if others may agree, but I would say it's Christ. But if you disagree and say there's a different spirituality, that's fine. But my point is that there would be first a man of spirituality and character. So I would put those as number one. So those were the first thing that I would set as number one. And I would say you would have to have. Kevin Samuels doesn't list those. He doesn't put those in his list, but I would say that's number one. Number two, we get into his topic of discussion, which would be, hey, that you have to make 10K a year. I would say I would disagree with that from the perspective of you may have guys out there that say, hey, I don't make $10,000 a month, and they may never make $10,000 a month. But does that mean they don't have a high character value? which would go back to my first point, doesn't mean they're not leading their homes in spirituality, which would go back to my first point. It just means they may not have the capacity to make that type of money per month. And of course, you and I both know that's typically a small percentage of American people that will make in those particular figures. So
Only 10%.
only 10%, according to the stats, not us. According to the stats, they say only 10% of Americans will make into the six-figure dollar range. And so what Kevin Samuels is saying, that it's only 10% of people in America that have high values. And well, I would disagree with that. I would say there are guys out there that can make a solid $5,000 to $7,000 a month, and they would be considered high value. And they may not be considered high value in terms of what Kevin Samuel says, but they would be high value in the terms of in their arena or in their field of area or field of study or field of playing ground or a baseball park they're in. They may be considered high value in that particular park or that particular playground they're on. So I would disagree from that perspective, because you may have guys that, let's say, construct fences for a living. They may construct fences for a living, and constructing fences, they may be great at their job. They may have a lot of contacts, know a lot of people with around this particular area. Now, in this area, they may construct fences for cows. They may only make $5,000 a month, but they may be some of the best fence makers out there. Now, does it mean they're not high value? No. In their field of area, the area in which they work and which they're probably hanging around other people, those people would probably say, this guy is high value. Now, he may not make the same money as Kevin Samuel said, but you ask those other fence makers, they're going to say, man, this guy here, he's high value. He's high value. He knows such and such. He knows these people. He's considered high value. So I would disagree on the very first point about the $10,000. Tell me what you think.
10K a month. I'm kind of in the middle. I do believe that high value does require excellence, and I do think that getting up to that level, it is rare, which makes you somewhat high value, because high value is a level of rarity. Now, obviously, around 5 to 7K. That is probably above your average income. I think household is about 50K. If you're talking about just males, it's probably around the 40, 50, 60K, somewhere in between that. So if you're 5 to 7K, you're already above the average threshold. But I think to be in that rare category, what I believe is high value is somebody that is rare, somebody that is wanted. And that's what I would say. I don't know. I can't give you the exact number. I don't know if 10K is the right number, but I do think somebody elevating over the next 3 to 5 years, that should be happening. No plateauing. If you're doing 60 over the next 5 years, I'm not sure if you're necessarily a rarity, because I think it's more to it when it comes to high value.
Okay.
What about point two? Or you want to stay on that? Okay. All right. Yeah, well, the next one is making the income for 3 to 5 years.
Oh, that's part two of it? Okay,
that's so part two of it.
We're encompassing 1 and 2 kind of together. So he's saying for 3 to 5 years, but a guy, I think, in the $5,000 to $7,000. And believe me, I don't think just because you make that type of money makes you high value. See, he would automatically put you in that category. And let me give you an example. You guys will probably know this guy by the name of Weinstein. Have you ever heard of him?
Harvey Weinstein. Yep.
Oh, you've heard of him. You've heard of him.
Not in a good way.
He makes over 100,000. Kevin Samuels would consider him high value. Why? Because he makes 100,000. He's made it for 3 to 5 years. He has a lot of contacts. Kevin Samuels would say, this man is high value. But when you look at it, he's really a low value man. Oh, did I pump the brakes up in here? I just changed the dynamics when I told you that. See, I just gave you an example of a guy that a lot of people would consider low value, but yet Kevin would elevate him to high value. Why? Because it would go back to my first point: spirituality, character. Those things matter. And if those things are not first, those are what drives a high value man. I would say not the dollar, not the length of time, but the character that these guys have. Weinstein has low character. Everybody would agree with that. Everybody would say he's a snake in the grass, a dog on the street. They would call him all kinds of names. But yet, if we identify high value as simply dollars and length of time and context that you have, oh, I would say a mistake is on the horizon.
Well, let me say this. Well, that's a very good point, because you actually led me into my point. I think what you're explaining and what I've broken it down is there's a difference between high value and high quality. Two different things, right? Where value is something that people really want, people admire, or they think as a rarity, right? Hold on. Wait. I think it's high quality, right? And I agree with you, but high value and high quality. Hold on. I know. I know that. Listen to what I'm saying. So let me give you an example, right? You remember when we went to Liberty Burger a couple of days ago, when we went to eat, me, mom, and you. We went to go eat some burgers. They're really good if you guys ever get a chance in Dallas. We went to go eat, and they had a sign on the wall. It said, high quality requires high value.
Bingo. Yes.
Quality requires, in other words, I don't have it verbatim, but it says quality requires value. They must go hand in hand, right? So when I'm talking about, when I'm talking about high value, I'm talking about you got the money, you got the cars, you got the access, the people. But when I'm talking about high quality, what you alluded to earlier with Weinstein, it's the character, it's the loyalty, it's the integrity. When you combine those two, high value and high quality, you have a different type of man. But when you have high value, you're only applying the worldly principles, right? Maybe, or just a monetary, a superficial look. That's what I'm saying with high value. That's my definition of what high value is. But quality, it doesn't go hand in hand. I'll give you a better example, right? When people make stuff that is of value, or let's say Nike, for example, the shoes at Nike, how much do they cost to make?
Anything of value is of quality. Now, I don't want to say anything because things of value.
Wait a minute.
Quality.
Okay.
But typically, quality and value go hand in hand. Typically, on most aspects. So when you say a man is high value, he can have high values and low quality.
That's my point. That's my point.
But my point is that quality and value go together. So then we have a different type of man that has quality and values when they come together.
That's what I just said about Liberty Burger. So we agree. Yeah, we agree.
But what I'm saying is that there has to be this quality, and the quality aspect come from spirituality, comes from character, and things of that nature. And so when the quality and the value come together, I guess you got a new type of man that we ain't even talking about. A new man that comes out of this. We are a QV man. I guess we can start naming a QV man. They may talk about a quality, they may talk about a value, but you heard it here. We're talking about a QV man.
A QV man.
And a value man. But anyway, keep going.
Yeah. So let's go on to the next one. He says group acceptance by other high value men.
Yes. And that's exactly my point. You may be a great fence maker. You're accepted by your other fence makers. These fence makers may not make $10,000 a month, but they are accepting him. Why? Because this guy is of value. So I would say it doesn't, and then it goes back to the point. Hey, it's not about money. It's not about the money, not about the dollars that you make. You will make some money, but I'm not saying that 10,000 is the magic number. Because I mean, we could raise it to 25,000, be the magic number. Who determines that magic number? Does Kevin Samuel determine that? I would say no. I would say that magic number is not determined by anyone as far as dollar amount, because you may have someone that's a great mechanic, maybe the best mechanic or the shoe shiner, the best shoe shiner in the world. But maybe the shoe shiner doesn't make $10,000 a month, but yet that guy loves his job and he shines the shoes, the best you ever seen. And around other shoe shiners, he's the best shoe shiner there is. Now, does that make less of a high value man? No, just because he doesn't make 10,000, his profession may not allow him to make that type of money. See, so there are people in professions that I would say they have high value. They just may not have high monetary dollars that come with it. See, so I would say, what about the ball boy or ball girl who gets balls for the Dallas Mavericks? Or They may not make 100,000, but they may recognize who's the best ball boy, who goes, or the best ball girl out there on the court, and consider them low value just because they don't make a certain dollar amount. No, it's not that they're low value because they don't hit a certain dollar threshold. Well, they're what they do around other ball boys and ball girls. They go, man, I wish I could get that ball just like Charlie. Charlie gets that ball good. He does a slide when he come in there, and he slides back. They say Charlie is the best. So see, I disagree with that in a lot of aspects. So I think there are different areas in society that people may not make the type of money. You may be a missionary. You may not make that type of money. You may be one of the best missionaries. Missionaries don't get 10K a month. They make them less high value just because they've invested themselves in another area. Oh, no. See, this is where I disagree with Kevin Samuels on the dollar point. Go ahead. Point number 4. I'm riding today, boy.
Oh, yeah. So I would say the group acceptance. I think that is huge by other high value men. I do think that's important, but that's just based on my terminology, what I think about how high value is. I think value is two different things than when we talked about quality. So I do think from a value perspective, as a man, you do need to be accepted by other men in that arena.
That's right. I'm giving you value. I haven't given you quality. I've just been telling you about value.
So the other ones is network of high value men. The network of high value men. So again, knowing those people, it kind of goes into the group acceptance. We'll kind of funnel that into the same group. The other one is visibility. So he's coming from a perspective of being known. Say you have a LinkedIn account, you show on there your position, your income. It adds up to you actually being of high value.
Okay. I'm in agreement with that. Now, that one I agree with, that you would have some visibility. In other words, I take that to mean you will be known by your peers. But then to me, goes back to group acceptance. It would be goes back to the other point previously. It was basically that you're known by your peers. Now, whether you're known through LinkedIn or you may be known another way, LinkedIn may not be the only way people can be known. I think he's making a big assumption there that you have to be in LinkedIn in order to be known. Now, that's not the only platform in which to be known. And it depends upon your arena. So depending on your arena in which you're in, LinkedIn may not be the acceptable arena. See, there may be other options. And so whatever those options are, the point is that you would be known by the people in your arena. That's the point, basically, I think, on the drive at. So it would go back to everything I've said so far. So right now, basically what you're telling me is I'm tearing down his argument. I'm basically ripping it down.
You need to get on the show. We need to put you on the show. I'm going to reach out to him.
Baby. I'm cooking with grease. I'm doing it country style. They can't handle that. They can't handle.
So, I mean, I would say with visibility, I do think it is important, but I don't think, it isn't the only platform because you don't necessarily need to be visible on these platforms to make money.
That's right.
That's not needed. Yeah. Sometimes it's not needed. And again, I think he's coming from a corporate perspective. So a lot of the things he's saying is very superficial or from that angle. Everything seems to be more corporate angle of where he's coming from.
Bucket. Or it's only in one bucket. So he's not it's not a broad stroke allowed for multiplicity of people. It's a one bucket thing.
Okay. Let's go to the last point. Useful to group of high value men and others.
Back to what I've been saying. They're gonna know he's the best fence maker. They're gonna know they're the best missionary or whatever, the best ball boy. I just think there's a lot of arenas in which people can thrive. And in those arenas that they thrive in doesn't necessarily mean that there's a high dollar value in those arenas. There are arenas in which there's just not a lot of money to be made, and people don't necessarily do it for money. And he's assuming that money is the motivator for everything. And not everybody is motivated by money. See? So when someone goes on a missionary, for example, missionary field, they're not motivated by money. And because he's saying because their motivation is not money, they are, i.e. not high value, I disagree totally. You can't say they're not high value just because their motivation is not money. They may look at Kevin Samuels and look on the other side and say, you're not high value because your motivation is money. Maybe you don't have a motivation beyond dollars and cents. Maybe you don't have a motivation beyond being seen and accepted by other people. You see? So he may come back and sit on the other side of the table and say, why is your motivation better than my motivation? If I'm being motivated from something other than money, and you're saying that's the only way that I can be motivated, well, no, I disagree with that too. So I'm disagreeing with most of the principles because I think there are other people out there that would be considered high value and not necessarily meet this particular criteria. Oh, boy, I'm laying it out today. Oh,
now he does say some good points, though. Now I will say what you did say is true to an extent, but he would probably come on here and say, "Well, name women that want a man that's only going to be making 60K, right, or 50K, or 40K, or 30K, or who knows, right?" That would be his point. I'm not saying this is what I believe, but I'm saying this is his point. Okay, he's not making a lot of income. Do most women want that? He's saying in this world, do most women want a man providing that? He has to provide, they'd say.
Here's what I would say. When we need to have one about women and see, but I would come back to say this. I would say a lot of superficial women would say, I want money. That's what they would say. But then I would come back to say, there are some women out there that are not motivated by money, just like there are some men. So not everybody has the same motivation of just trying to make more money. That's not everybody's motivation. And so when you meet, you have to find a woman that meets your needs. So if you're a man and a woman will want security. And you can provide security at $30,000 a year. See, what we fail to understand is that security can be provided at different levels of income. High talk. Boy, I'm talking good. Yes, I'm talking good.
I don't necessarily agree with that, but go ahead.
Security can be provided at different levels of income. Oh, let me tell you how I know. This is how I know. The reason I know is because a man can make $30,000, $50,000 if he reduce his expenditures on how he lives. He can provide the security the woman needs. Oh, woo!
Whoa. We're going to stop right there. Wait, no way. Let me stop.
Beep.
Wait. Let's stop right now. Hold on, because that's a big if. What you're saying right there. No.
It's a reality, baby.
No. See, this is, wait, listen. This is where I differentiate between you with the high value. Because, again, I think it's a rarity. The man that can make money, but also can save money and know what to do with his money, creates that security. Now. There's people with lower incomes that you're alluding to that said, you're telling me that if they have the ability to be financially literate, which you're basically saying, they can be better with their money. And I think the lower that money you make, the less financially literate you are, in my opinion. Because you don't have the same resources, and you probably don't understand the importance of it, or you're not in the arenas to talk about the discussion of how to utilize your money for assets or to save your money to create security. I don't agree with that.
Well, you're wrong then.
No, because I know wait. I know high income people that make a lot of money that spend a lot of money too, and they're not high value either.
But here's my point. Listen, there may be some guys out there, and listen, if you're out there listening at me, you're going to be encouraged by me, not by that guy on the other end here. He's discouraged.
Look, man, hey, I give it to you truthful.
For the guys out
I'm true to this show.
$5,000, he ain't letting me talk. For the guys making $3,000 to $5,000 a month, you are in that category. I got good news for you. Here, you don't have to be no illiterate giant. I mean, you don't have to be this great financial steward. Listen. Save 10% of your money. Give 10% away. Live off 80%. If you do that, you will be secure. You will be secure. I guarantee it. He's saying you can't, but I'm saying you can. I'm saying if you give away 10%, you save 10%, and you live off 80%, I guarantee, call me back at any time. I guarantee you will be successful. I guarantee your family will be secure. I guarantee your wife will be secure, but you got to stay within that 80% and say, hey, this is all we're going to spend. Now,
Wait a minute. My turn to interject.
You make $5,000. That means you only spend $4,000. You save 10% of it, and you give away 10% of it. And if you do that, I guarantee your wife is gonna be feeling good. Your kids gonna feel good. You just gotta figure out how can we live in this 80% that we make. If you do that, you'll be making it. You'll make it.
All right. Well, let me say this.
Hey, you can make it.
Look, this man wants to be a hopeful for everybody and push for that positivity and self-improvement. And I agree that self-improvement is huge, but I don't agree with this. Look, the 3 to 5 arena, yes. You create security from it? Yes, but the chances in the real world of actually doing that, creating security for a woman. See, women are very indecisive in what they want, right? Shoot, if you talk to some women, they'll tell you they want a lot of specifics. They want you to be a certain height. They want a certain dollar number. Matter of fact, on Kevin Samuel's show, he does talk about, the fact that women will come on here and say, I want a man that makes 6 figures. Do you even understand how many men make 6 figures and they always don't know the numbers? They think that it's plentiful men out here making 6 figures. There's only 10% of them. That's Americans. That doesn't differentiate men and women. So it's only 10% of Americans. Women don't think that. They think that they're a dime a dozen, man.
Hey, we're not on the women today. Don't get on them.
No. I'm telling you how it works because listen. Because we're tying in women and men.
Yeah,
so a woman
own show for the women.
No, women and men. That's what we're talking about. Listen, I'm tying it in. We can talk about women later. Listen, so 3 to 5K, yes, if you're financially literate. My point is, though, you need to make more income. You can get financially literate at 30,000 a year, 40. Yes, you can be, but you need to be working on making more money. The more money that you make, guess what? The more security that you bring. That's the truth. The number one cause. Listen. The number one cause is what? What is the number one cause of divorce? It's money. There's a reason behind it. There's a reason behind it because most people are not financially literate. Why is it that divorces are higher with people with lower incomes than at higher incomes? Divorce rates are higher at lower incomes than higher incomes.
Management of money. It's not money itself. It's the mismanagement of money.
Look, you can tell me all you want, but baby, hey, look, man, women love to spend that money. So you got to be making some money, dinero, some change.
We didn't talk about the women. That's another show. That's another
Guess
show.
What?
Hey, make our next show about
women want you to make that money.
About women and high value men.
You can tell me all day. He provides for me. He loves me. I'm telling you, at 30K, most women ain't gonna like that. Most women want to be able to have more than that. You can sit here and stay at 30. I'm saying make more income. If you start there, that's fine. But don't end there. That's a problem. As a high value man, that's a problem. Because I'm gonna tell you what high value man is. Let me explain to you what I think high value is. Let me tell you what high value is, okay? Okay, I'm the star of the show. If you didn't know, I'm stat man, whatever you want to call me, okay? Look, I knew that was gonna get him revved up. Okay, look, what I think high value is good looks, big bank account, big house, nice car. That's what I think about. Growth mindset is driven. That's value, right? In the world, you provide value. You know people of value. You network with them, right? Quality, right? We talked about this high value and high quality. That's what I think high value is. But high quality, what I think that is character, integrity, loyalty. You talked about it earlier, spirituality, respect, leadership, selflessness, and humility. That's what I think quality is. I think you got to blend the two. It can't, because if you just high value, like you talked about Weinstein, you talked about, I say R. Kelly. Think about the artists and then the ball players that make a lot of money.
Yeah,
I would say I don't think a lot of them is quality, though. They make a lot of money. Would I say they're quality? Not so much. Not so much. You make millions. You're rare. Yes, you are rare. You have the network of people. You got the house, the car. You got the value, but you ain't the quality. And if they don't go hand in hand, people can sniff that out. And you're not the man.
Oh, yeah, we need to talk about women and they're sniffing because a lot of them ain't sniffing. They ain't over there smelling. They over there just, See, They got to remember you can't. There's more to it than that. What's his next point? What's his last point? I think he has one last point. Kevin Samuels.
Let me go to, but let me want to say one more thing because we talked about the money, right? The 30,000. Why is it that as a man, again, as a man, what you viewed upon, what you can provide? Listen. What can you provide? Why is it that the man that make more money get good looking women? Looks. We talking about looks. We're just talking about looks, right? Why are they getting more women? Why is more women plentiful? I say. Because they make more money. It's more plentiful.
Your assumption.
There's a reason behind the madness. Women want man with a title.
$5,000 a month is not very good at it. Your assumption is that he can't provide, but there are multiplicity of ways that some guy that's $3,000 to $5,000. Let's say, for example, let me give you another. A guy may make $1,000 a week being in construction. $1,000.
Tell me something. I want to hear it.
He might make $1,500 a week being in construction. That's $6,000 a month, okay? And he does. Now you say, well, he's not making a whole bunch of money, but this guy may have tapped into other things. Like, for example, he may be working for his boss, getting $1,500, and his boss says, okay, you can have the extra bricks on the side. And he used those extra bricks on the side to build his house. Oh, because he's in construction. So he built his own house with his $1,500 a week. And he built his own house with extra brick that his boss gave him. And the house is built. The wife is living in the house. The house is paid for. Because he built it himself. I would say he's doing a whole lot better than the guy who's making $100K or $8K, $10K a month and has to pay for a house that he himself can't build. See, there's a lot of value that guys may be able to add that are outside of just simply a monetary dollar amount, because some of it is knowledge. If I know how to bricklay, and if I know how to put down the cement, if I know how to put down the tile, guess what? I can do my own house, and I can have my own house built the way I want it, how I want to do it, because I know all of those things. And guess what? When it's done, it's paid for. I don't owe nobody. Now listen to me. I'm telling you right now.
I'm just look like this is what I'm gonna. Okay, well, let me tell you right now. I'll say one thing. Your value is determined by the market. That's the truth. Your value is determined by the market. Yeah. So you can tell me that. Look. The people that the rappers, the artists, or any musicians in general, they make a lot of the money. They don't know how to build their homes, but they have the access to money. And again, when we're talking about the market is for high value is what you can bring out. It could be other high value men. It could be women that are access. The people that are artists, music, they have that. And I don't think that a lot of them are quality either. They have the value though. That's what I'm talking about. They have things around them at a higher level than somebody that's making 30K. I didn't say they're quality though, because a man at 30K can have a lot of quality. But we're specifically talking about value here. And those artists have the value. Why are so many women, when you look at the man, they're not good people. You can see the things they've done, but the women still flock to them because you have the access to a lot of things. And women like access. Matter of fact, for high value, they even hit that. It really don't happen for a man until their 40s and their 50s. That's when they hit they peak. That's when they really take off. As far as value, what I think is big bank account, you moving in that direction, you're building access to wealth, things like that. Because you do, as a man, need to build generational wealth. At 30,000, how are you not trying to build generational wealth? I can't understand that. We can't think alike. If you want to be driven, you should be wanting to move for more. So that's why I say if you 30K, you staying at 30K, you may not be moved by money. But if I told you that if you can build something or create generational wealth and leave a legacy for your kids, that should get you up and moving, because money is a huge component of it. That's the honest truth. And people may not like that, but you can't be sitting at 30K and thinking that you're going to provide value. You might provide quality of being a good husband and great character and integrity, but to be value as a man, what the world sees as value is what accolades and accomplishments, what can you bring to the table? And I say at 30K, I don't know how much you can bring over longevity wise, over 20 years of staying at 30K. I don't think so. I don't think that's going to improve you.
I think there's a lot they can bring to the table. They just got to know how to do it. See, and that's where they want to come to this show. Listen to me. I will tell you how to do it. I will tell you how to bring value.
I'm going to keep it to you funky.
I will tell you how you can do it and how you can be successful at it. and you can do it within your dollar range. Take 10%, save it, take 10%, give it away, live on 80%. You'll be fine.
Hey, your net worth is important.
Last
Let
point.
me go ahead. That was the last point for Kevin Samuels. We talked about the LinkedIn and stuff. But let me say something. Your net worth, why you think women be finding that if you're artists and stuff, they know your net worth, they know what you got. They looking at money. And women ain't the only thing here. Let me be specific. I'm just going back to that example. Why do they flock to him?
You should never go for the woman that's looking for at your net worth.
But you may never know if she is.
As soon as your net worth change, she gonna change the zip code, baby. She changed the zip code. So I would never go for the woman. Matter of fact, you want her to know very little about your net worth while you getting to know it. Matter of fact, make her think you're broke. This is what I do. Yeah, make her think you're broke. I did that with my wife. I made her think I was broke. She knew it, actually. She knew I was broke. that was the best thing. And I said, baby, I will build something with you. That's what I said. Yeah.
Hey, I got a question for you, though. Can you be high value as a loner, though?
As a loner?
Yep.
Loner, Loaner.
Spelling is woo. Y'all hear that? Woo. That's why y'all tune in here to listen to me. Loner, Loner.
See, let me rewind this for you. You don't know what an Loaner is, do you? Obviously not, because you were just giggling about it. So obviously
that's not what it is. That's not what we're talking about here.
Listen to this spelling bee that's going on. If you don't know, let me enlighten you. He obviously did. Loaner is someone who gives out money. So my question to him is: could you be a high value giving out money, i.e., a loner? Oh, you didn't get it. Or did he mean Loner, which means by themselves? America.
Well, let me explain.
I'm a loner. Dropping again. I'm dropping money. I'm dropping knowledge. I'm letting you guys know.
A loner by themselves.
I educate as I do. Now, your question is:
can you be a high value as a loner by yourself?
By yourself. Oh, now we have a definition. And
we got something for you.
I would say the answer to that is no. You can't be. You can't be because you don't know anybody. You're not around people. You can't make an impact. You can't lead by yourself. If you're the only one walking, you ain't leading, baby. If you look back and nobody's following, you ain't leading, baby. You're just taking a walk in the park. So when you're walking along and you look back and you see people going with you, that's leadership. If you're walking and nobody's following you, you're just walking in the park, tipping, toeing, picking up rocks, throwing them on the lake, skipping rock. That's all you doing. You ain't doing nothing, baby. So if you're a loner, you can't be doing nothing. But if you're a loner, Loaner, oh yeah, you like the bank, baby. They coming to you for the resources. See, you got to understand the difference. I just laid it out for you, America. I hope you learned something. I hope this dropped a lot of knowledge in your pockets for you. And it's all from me. Don't forget it. All from me.
All right. Well, look. I would agree that to be a loner as a high value man, I don't think that you can be that. I mean, you could be making the money, right? You may not have the network if we're going based off of Kevin Samuels, but I mean, you could have the car, you could have the nice house, you could have all those things. But I do think a component of is knowing other people and not only networking, but also leading people as well. I do think that like you have a group of people or people that you know in your industry that people follow. So, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, I don't know if you can be high value as a loner. I don't know about that. How common is a high value man in America though?
How common? I think the high value man from the perspective that Kevin Samuel, I think they're very common from the perspective that he said. From the perspective of what I said, from the perspective of what I told you, I think there's less common. From the perspective of Kevin Samuels, I think they're more common.
Okay, I would agree with that. I would say they're not common in general, though, as far as high value based on what Kevin Samuels said. First, we'll just start with 120K. Look, like going back to that's the stats. And people get fooled by these stats. And like, if it was 120K, there's not a lot of men in the sea. First of all, there's more women than there are men in general. So your options are not that high if you're looking for what Kevin Samuel said. But I will agree with you based on what you said. Yeah, I mean, it's less common.
Yeah, I mean, it's common. It's just that you got to do, you being women, we have to have a show on women. They just got to be able to know how to help them. Women is our next show.
I'm gonna help y'all out. I'm gonna be truthful. I'm the truth man here. I just tell you like it is. It's gonna hurt some feelings, but hey, it's okay. Look,
yeah, you ain't no feelings yet. Yeah.
I'm telling it like it is. Look, you want to make more money as a man. That is what you're judged off of if you're high value. Make more money. You cannot be a leader as a loner, but if you ain't making enough money, it's gonna be hard to lead too. I'm telling you. How you gonna lead if you ain't making enough money? It don't make no sense.
Well, we got to talk about that. I'd love to talk about it, but hey, our time is up today. But if it wasn't, I'll just drill you again.
Oh, whatever, man. Look. Well, I would say let me say my high value, and then we'll go ahead and cut to the chase because we got stuff to do, people. You know what I'm saying? We got things to get done. But I would say my 10
up in here, high value, baby.
This is my definition of high value and high quality. We got a different terminology. What did we say we were going to call it? It was a QV?
A QV man.
A QV man. That's what we are. It's a blend of value and quality. One, Christ-centered. Christ-centered. Number two has a purpose. 3, has a strong network of people to pull from. 4, takes care of themselves. 5, makes 6 figures. But also in control of their finances. I would actually change that now that we're talking about it. I'd probably say it's hard to say a number, but I would say high 5 figures, low 6 figures or more. So high 5 figures or more.
I would use what you said as your last statement was they're in control of their finances.
Oh, you like what I say right there. Ooh, you like that.
Finances, you can control that, whether it's 3,000, whether it's 10,000, whether it's 200,000. So it doesn't matter because you can make 200,000 and be out of control. So
yeah,
you can make a lot of money and be out of control, and it'll just be a whirlwind, and then you just lose it all. So you can make and be steady.
Right, definitely. I would also say that when you have a high net worth, that's point number 6. That's another thing I think that's important. 7, has solid character and integrity. 8, leaders of their household. 9, has a value system. And then the last one has a servant attitude. What do you do in the community to help others? I think that's huge. So that's my value, man, and quality, man, combined for the QV, man. We want that QV, man. So that's my 10. You can take it or leave it. But what we said today, I hope you guys find some truth in it. You may not agree with everything, but we're here to encourage. We may hurt some feelings, but we're going to say how we feel. This is how I talk. This is just what we do, right? It's real. It's raw. It's authentic. Tim, any last comments?
No, I've said them all. I've told you guys what to do. I'm going to tell you what to do next with women. Next time they're on the show, we're going to talk about the women. I'll tell you women what to do. I've told you guys what to do. Now I'll tell you women what to do. You follow my steps, you'll be successful.
Hey, it's the star of the show, Chris Jones, and we got
the star of the show, Tim Jones.
All right, guys. Well, hey, we'll see you guys next week. Until the next episode. Bye.